Hello, welcome to the 12th episode of Born in Quarantine. Roll the clip.
Marty, when we see all the films you did, none of them were great. None of them. I look around the room and I realize now, aside from Clint Eastwood, I'm the biggest name here.
That man insulting Martin Scorsese is our subject today. Donald J. Rickles. Yahaki Pak. There is this mind exercise, this mind challenge that I sort of like because I have OCD and it's very helpful for people like me that have OCD. Who do you put on Mount Rushmore? For example, on the Mount Rushmore of acting, who do you put on there? And for each person, it is going to be different. For example, for me, the acting is probably going to be Laurence Olivier. It's probably going to have John Gielgud, Marlon Brando, Lee Strasberg. But I believe a lot of people will probably disagree with me. I am pretty sure there are historians that disagree with the presidents that are on the actual Mount Rushmore, so it is a mind exercise more than anything. But one of the places that it gets used a lot is comedy. Who do you put on the Mount Rushmore of comedy? And each person has their own different irritation, their versions of who they want to put there. For me personally, I would say I put George Carlin, one of my favorite comedians, and for how he looked at language and his subjects and just how he looked at comedy. I'd say Lenny Bruce, just for the sheer importance that he played in the history of stand-up comedy. He was the martyr and he was actually kind of funny. Robin Williams for the inclusion of improv and just that quick-witted rapid-fire jokes. And Don Rickles, Donald J. Rickles. Why? Well, for how he shaped stand-up based on the relation with the audience. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, but I found my other microphone. I'm hoping this results in a better voice quality. I wouldn't know because I haven't edited this yet, but if you didn't see it later in other episodes, know that it probably didn't work. My introduction to Don Rickles came in the early 2010s. When Toy Story 3 came out, there was this feature on the DVD behind the scenes. It's not uncommon. A lot of movies and animated movies have them. And in it, they just talked to the cast. And two people stood out to me. First one was Ned Beatty because he was weirdly professional. And while other ones were just being, we are having fun. He was just, yeah, lots of talks like this. And he has this kind of dialect, which was weird. It's like he wasn't talking to a bunch of kids, he was talking to other actors. The other one was Don Rickles. Why is that? Well, in the behind the scenes, everyone were talking, happy, they were trying to be funny, especially Tom Hanks, which didn't come off as funny, it just come off as celebrities thinking they're funny. But this guy, this old dude that looked kind of fat and weird, said two lines.
I know we're not doing great, and you can help out once in a while because you need the money.
And it made me laugh out loud, rolling on the floor. Because I wasn't expecting it, just someone saying just this random thing, and it was very, very funny. I understand now that looking at his myriad of works, he was being really tame here, but...
So, Don, how are you?
I was fine till I got on this.
Please.
No, I'm delighted to be, and it's good to see you again. I spoke to the hospital, and it's a new drug. It's called a personality shock.
For the first look at someone, it was just very funny. Now, I want to say something that I know a lot of animated fans will probably have my head over. I am not a big fan of Toy Story franchise. For me, Finding Nemo has that nostalgic place of Pixar movies because I watched a lot more Finding Nemo than I did Toy Story. And even then, it quickly got replaced by Up. I love Up. It's on my top 100 movies. So for me, Don Rickles is not Mr. Potato Head. He is Mr. Potato Head, but not for me. For me, Don Rickles is the insult guy.
Sinatra was my bodyguard.
Oh. Frank was pivotal in your career, wasn't he?
You kidding?
Yeah.
He woke up in the morning and went, "The summer wind, is Rickles alive?" Anyway, no, Frank was great. I could say a lot about him because there's...
Yeah.
Anyway,
But now, take us back.
How long you had that?
Now, if you're not familiar with the works of Don Rickles, which is a possibility, I myself found him very late, merely a couple months before he passed away, and I just kept watching him on YouTube, just clips of him on different talk shows. He has a very certain aura around him.
You're a Jew. You gotta be. With that nose, if you're not, you're an eagle. I'll tell you this. Look at the nose on this. As you're breathing, my socks are coming up.
Let me tell it this way. A George Carlin routine, you will probably read and laugh as loud as he is saying it. The same thing can be said for a Richard Pryor routine, or a Louis C.K. routine, or a Bill Burr routine. You just read them and they are funny, they are jokes. People like Robin Williams, Billy Crystal, Jerry Seinfeld, they are not funny on paper, but they act how they sound, and they just manic persona is what makes you laugh. They don't need an audience, they can just talk to you and you laugh. Don Rickles though, and I'm saying him because I don't remember a lot of people like him. I want to say Ricky Gervais, but that is a bad comparison and I'll explain it very soon. But Don Rickles, you can't read what he's saying. I mean, you read it and he called someone, "Is that your wife? Jesus Christ." It's not funny. And if you see him just walk around telling jokes to himself, it's not funny either. Where Don Rickles flourish is when he is with the audience.
Is that your wife, sir? Jesus Christ. I'll tell you this. That's the... No, I'm kidding. She's a pretty lady. Jesus. What was it, a train?
His stand-up gets recognition, it gets going when he's working with an audience, when he's there to talk about someone's looks, someone's ethnicity, someone's beliefs, someone's history. It's just that personal connection. I don't know a lot of comics like that. But what makes him special? I mean, I can go out, I believe all of us can go out, stand in the corner, and like in 5 minutes, we will hear insults. A lot of them, based on how we look and how we dressed. But it doesn't feel gratifying. It feels insulting to hear those insults. But when Don Rickles does it...
Your pocket's that high? Anyway, I guess your psychiatrist put them there so you'd stop it. Anyway...
It's just funny. Is it because you don't expect him to? Is it because he's famous? Is it his attitude? Is it because you know he doesn't mean the insults? I think it's a combination of all of them. There is this long George Carlin routine, but the main idea of it is that
there is absolutely nothing wrong with any of those words in and of themselves. They're only words. It's the context that counts. It's the user. It's the intention behind the words that makes them good or bad. The words are completely neutral. The words are innocent.
And I think Don Rickles is the embodiment of that saying. He is mean-spirited to you. He calls you by your ethnicity. There is this long joke that he does every time if the character in front of him is Asian.
Chinese, Japanese, Filipino, my ass, you're a Jap. I'll tell you this. 3 years in the jungle looking for your uncle.
And it's mean-spirited, but you know these are just words. And this is something that I will also go into, but he's not racist. He doesn't try to actively stop you. He's not mean-spirited in a way that, well, someone like Mel Gibson is mean-spirited. He doesn't mean what he's saying. He's just saying it to make you laugh. Because in his own words...
Laugh about life. That's the whole damn thing.
And it is true, he laughs at all. Because when we look at it deep down inside, we are all human. We have flaws, and there is this stupid notion that you should not celebrate each other's ethnicity and the stereotypes and everything that comes with it as a joke, which I don't understand. I mean, look at me, I'm fat, okay? And that's just physical. I'm not touching the face, but I'm fat, I have glasses, and if someone makes a joke at my physique, if it's funny, I'll laugh at it. I don't care that he's making fun of my body, because guess what? Fat people are kind of funny. Why not? But there is this whole wave of, no, we shouldn't make fun of that, it might hurt them. Yeah, but sticks and stones may break my bones. Words can never hurt me. If it's just words. If you're not actively insulting me, because there is a lot of more condescending people out there that think they want the betterment of you. You know, I have a brother who had a diet, but, he got thin. Yes, we know. I know, honey. I've heard it a long time. That is more insulting to me than when Don Rickles makes the joke of,
how much you weigh, Tiny? How much you weigh? And that's your husband? You must lay in bed and I go, no! God damn it, no! Then you wake up in the morning and go, son bitch, I'm flat.
Because that is funny. It's not mean-spirited. He's not trying to say, why, you're fat and fatness is a problem. It's just a fact of life. You are fucking fat. Deal with it. Let's laugh at it. And this is what makes Don Rickles special to me. And it's something that is, again, unique to Don Rickles, was the fact that he was a good comedian, but more than that, he was a strong-willed comedian. It's pretty much a cliche now. Everyone is doing it, and it is kind of annoying to me. In short, comedians go on stage and whine to a cheering crowd that they just can make jokes about this certain fact, and they say, why the PC culture has ruined comedy. I'm not denying that. I mean, people are watching Pete Davidson, so we are in hot water, comedic-wise, but it's not the PC culture that's ruining, well, the comedy. It's the comedian himself suddenly realizing that, well, I better not do the material because it's not funny, it's probably not going to make them laugh, but instead I whine about it, and in that way I attack a bunch of comedians that are very clean, and on the other hand, people who are frustrated at them. That's Don Rickles. He was an entertainer, and his entertainment, unlike many other comedians, depended solely on the audience. There are numerous examples of him just getting angry over the audience in action, because the audience is what gives him his fuel.
You want a magazine? Anyway, they don't understand that. They said it's too fast. I forgot where I was working. Put up the signs. Anyway, so
He looks around at the audience and tries to find bait and jokes about them and makes them laugh. He wants laughter more than anything. But at the same time, he knows that he is the comedian.
No, I don't think most people have been to China.
No, well, it's a great experience. You sit around, have a lot of tea, and watch the guys going around going, how do my eyes look?
And there's no voting. There's no voting now. For the money you people are playing, I'm a riot.
He's not there to make them laugh no matter what. He wants their approval. I believe all people in show business, I want your approval, but he's not begging for it. It is my job to make you laugh. If you don't laugh, I'm not going to change myself to make you laugh. You can go and watch someone else. Which is some mentality that it is true. You know, you don't have to watch Don Rickles, but seeing a lot of comedians just whining and whining and whining that, oh, nobody listens to us because we are dirty. No, nobody listens to you because you're not funny. When Don Rickles makes a joke at someone, he's not trying to hurt them. When you do, most of the time you want to hurt them. Adam Carolla. This has gone way off the rails. But that's it. It is kind of a weird episode because I can't just do a long clip show of Rickles' best. There are a lot of them. There is one for my Best of Humans, which if you want to just get into the Rickles routines, I highly recommend it. I'm going to put a link to it. I don't want it to be just a clip show. I want to talk about what Don Rickles means to me. When I see him, what does it say to me? Don Rickles is the embodiment of 60s comedy. You see him a lot and you realize, yeah, this is what we used to like in the 60s. We sit around in a bar and see him come on and point at us and laugh at us all together. But there is something more about him that is what unique to him. Let me explain. I've never seen someone do what Don Rickles does. I'm pretty sure you are all familiar with Tonight Show, now hosting Jimmy Fallon, then back then Jay Leno, Conan for a few months, and Jay Leno. But before all of that, the guy that made The Tonight Show, was Johnny Carson. Carson and Rickles were friends, and there are a lot of good clips that you can watch of Rickles on his show.
Your face is you're starting to show your age. You know,
Well,
I'm still young and wonderful. You still get out in the tennis court with the funny little tight little shorts and the leotard saying to your girlfriend, your serve.
What are you talking about? You got a face could hold a 3-day rain. What are you talking about?
And he's making fun of Johnny, he's making fun of Ed McMahon, Johnny's sidekick, he's making fun of the audience, he's just funny.
Don't worry, Ed. You're going to be big. Hey, eventually, if Johnny retires, are you going to retire?
Certainly.
No, you're not. No, you're not. I know what your wife spends. You are not retired.
Now, Johnny Carson used to do this thing where he would allow people to guest host. Like a celebrity would come and host the show instead of Johnny Carson. One of them was Don Rickles. The thing about Don Rickles' episode, he went straight for the audience. He made fun of the band. He made straight for the audience. He didn't do a monologue like most comedians would do, because that's how he works.
40 million Jews. I had to pick an ape. Anyway, it's a joke. Will you laugh, you dummy?
He works off of human beings. He realizes we as a species are very flawed. So why not laugh at each other? And you need to see that amplified when he's attacking celebrities.
Clint, I say it, nobody else has said it, and I say it from my heart. You're a lousy actor.
When he's attacking celebrities, it's never crass. He's not saying that you are funny. He's just making fun of them, making fun of their insecurities, and something that we all thinking about, but he's the one that's saying it, and to quote Robin Williams, backs off and says, I'm just a jester. I'm just joking. Which brings me to another person that seemingly does that, Ricky Gervais. I love Ricky Gervais. He's one of my favorite comedians. I love his routines, but there is this weird thing about Gervais that never grabs me as much as Rickles grabs me. The thing is, Gervais comes out and starts insulting celebrities. He makes jokes about them, he makes fun of them, but he makes fun of them in a way that tries to not offend them, not walking over the red line. He's saying, oh, you are rich, just shut up. Okay, thank you, Ricky Gervais. You're the first one who has said it. And yes, he wants to think that he's the voice of reason and logic and the working man against these big bad celebrities. Yet he is one. Rickles, when he's attacking a celebrity, when he's attacking Jay Leno,
He just sits home going, more lube, Charlie, more lube.
My colonoscopy. Yeah.
I'll do the funny stuff.
Okay.
You just be the host.
he's attacking that celebrity by attacking what the celebrity is. He's not attacking Jay Leno because Jay Leno said this thing. He's attacking Jay Leno because of what Jay Leno is. And it's funny. It's not deceiving in the way that Gervais does it. When Gervais does it, I feel like he's begging for attention. Oh, people notice me. Look, I am attacking Mel Gibson. Look, I'm attacking Robert Downey Jr. Look, I'm attacking Jennifer Lawrence. These are people that are very well in the range of attacks, don't get me wrong. If I was right in front of Mel Gibson right now, I'd say, loved you in Braveheart, punch. But it's just so cowardly to do it like that. Go a pair, like Rickles. Attack them where it hurts.
Anyway, De Niro is sitting there. God bless you, Bob. He's got the beard on. To know him is a treat. He's one of the great actors of our time. You ask him.
Anyone can say, yes, Mel Gibson drinks too much and he says racist shit. It's the news. Why are we watching you telling us the news? I'm going hard on Ricky Gervais because his last special, Humanity, I think, he did something that is the lowest of stuff in my opinion. He went and talked about a Twitter feud he had, and it's literally like, I have no material, so I'm going to do the material that I thought of while, I don't know about you, but I usually go to Twitter when I am bored with life, so it's weird. It's weird. I don't like to see Ricky Gervais go that low. And he's attacking people too, but the people he's attacking are online personas. Rickles, in other words, when you go to see a Rickles show, I believe, we can't anymore, and that's the tragic part, but if you went and saw a Rickles show, it's just an experience that you would remember for the rest of your life, which is why I think he wouldn't made a good comedy special, like a Netflix special, because he's attacking the people there. You need to be there. You need to be in this group, which is why I think a lot of people call Rickles the last classical entertainer, which he was in some way. I just miss the man, and I have a great time watching him during quarantine. So this one is just for the heart. This episode is me just saying how much I love this stand-up comic. The king of insults, Mr. Warmth, Don Rickles. By the way, this episode was supposed to come out last week, but I got sick. Not corona, don't worry. Haven't caught me yet. But I had food poisoning, and it kind of ruined the whole week, so I needed to film it this week. And I hope I did justice to Mr. Warmth, because he is amazing. I also would love to recommend you give Mr. Warmth, the Don Rickles Project, a watch. It's an amazing documentary about Don Rickles, and John Landis did an amazing job of just explaining what is Don Rickles. I don't know, it's one of those things. You don't think you'd miss someone you never seen, but I miss Don Rickles the same way I miss Leonard Cohen, which I already talked about. The same way I miss Christopher Lee, George Carlin, people that I've never met in real life, but just imagining that we are living in a world that doesn't have Don Rickles in it just kind of breaks my heart. Toy Story 4 has come out quite a while ago, and I haven't still managed to watch it because deep down inside I feel a bit too sad to see it, knowing that Don Rickles is probably not a big part in it. He died, God, before the movie came out. If that worked, if this worked, and if that, my computer, which is giving me a lot of troubles lately, worked, I'll see you very soon.